ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನೆಲ್ ವ್ಯಾಸ ಎಜುಕೇಶನ್ ನೀಟ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. Welcome to our channel VYASA Education for NEET. In the last video, we just completed sexual reproduction in flowering plants, that is second chapter NCERT Biology 12th standard. Okay. So now let us see the third chapter, that is human reproduction, which is very important for NEET. Okay. Yes. See children, if you just solve the question papers, if you just solve the model question papers for NEET and all in bio, okay, that is sufficient, but you have to read line by line NCERT biology, without which you cannot score good marks. Okay, so whatever this channel is providing, it is line to line biology NCERT for class 12th as well as for class 11th. Okay. Yes. So let us see human reproduction. Children, if you have not yet subscribed our channel, please subscribe so that you will get all the important lessons for NEET. Okay. Yes. So human reproduction. Let us start the chapter. These are all from NCERT only. Okay. Yes. So humans are sexually reproducing and humans are viviparous. So this thing you have to remember. Humans are, they are sexually reproducing organisms. Okay. And they are viviparous. So in the last class we have dealt with oviparous and viviparous, isn't it? In the first chapter. So what are we? We are viviparous. We are viviparous. VV. Okay. Just remember. Humans are viviparous. Reproductive events in humans. So they occur after puberty, isn't it? Yes. So reproductive events. So what are the reproductive events that occur after puberty? They are formation of the gametes, that is called as gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is formation of the gametes, that is sperms in males and ovum in females. Transfer of sperms into the female genital tract, that is insemination. Okay, what are the events? Just see. Okay, what are the events? One is gametogenesis, the second one is insemination, and the third one is fertilization, that leads to the formation of the zygote. Okay, fusion of male and female gametes is called as fertilization. Transfer of sperms into the female genital tract is the insemination, and formation of the gametes is gametogenesis. So this can be asked even for PU board also. Okay, what are the events in human reproductive system? These are the three: gametogenesis, insemination and fertilization. Okay. Reproductive events in humans are followed by, okay, reproductive events. These are the reproductive events. Okay, these are followed by what? Formation and development of the blastocyst, isn't it? Once the fertilization has occurred, the blastocyst is formed. Attachment of blastocyst to the uterine wall, that is called as implantation. Okay. See, after fertilization, the zygote is formed, isn't it? So after the formation of the zygote, what happens? It is not next called as zygote, isn't it? Further it starts developing. How long it will be called as a zygote, isn't it? So it is called as blastocyst. So once the formation and development starts, it is called as blastocyst. And the blastocyst, when it gets attached, okay, to the uterine wall, it cannot go out, isn't it? So it is totally adhered. It is attached to the uterine wall. It is called as implantation. Next is embryonic development. So after implantation, that is when the blastocyst, it gets attached to the uterine wall, it starts growing. It is called as embryonic development. That is called as gestation. Gestation period. Okay, gestation. Next, after gestation, that is, the gestation is nothing but the development of the baby inside the uterus. Okay, and finally after the 9th month, the delivery of the baby takes place, that is parturition. Okay, so what are they? What are the events in humans which are followed by in the reproductive system? Okay, so they are formation and development of the blastocyst, that is next is implantation, gestation and parturition. remarkable difference between reproductive events in the male and the female. Okay, so what are the remarkable difference between reproductive events in the male and the female? Sperm formation. See, what is a remarkable difference? Reproductive system in male as well as in the female is almost there, isn't it? Both reproduce. I mean to say the reproductive events take place in both. Okay. So what is the major difference, the remarkable difference? That is, sperm formation continues even in old men. Okay. Even though the males are old, sperm formation still continues. But the formation of the ovum ceases in women around the age of 50. Okay. As the woman attains menopause, it starts to cease. The ovum formation starts to cease. Okay. So these all you have to read, children. Once you have to just listen. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಿವಿಗೆ ಬಿದ್ದರೆ ಸಾಕು ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೆನಪಿರುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. Okay. The male reproductive system. Male reproductive system is located in the pelvic region. Okay. See, it is situated in the pelvic region. This area is called as pelvic region. Why? Because there are two pelvic bones. Okay. So it is called as pelvic region. It includes a pair of testes. It includes a pair of testes along with the accessory ducts, glands and external genitalia. Okay. Accessory ducts are there. So related accessory ducts are there. Ducts are tube-like. Okay. Then glands are present. Accessory glands are present. So you can see in this picture. Okay. Bulbourethral gland, seminal vesicles. Okay. So these are all the glands. And the external genitalia. Okay. The testes are situated outside the abdominal cavity. See, this is the abdominal cavity, isn't it? So they are situated below, that is outside the abdominal cavity, within a pouch called as scrotum. So this, whatever you are seeing, is the scrotum. The outside one is the scrotal sac. It is present in the scrotal sac. So why it is situated outside the abdominal cavity? The scrotum helps in maintaining the lower temperature. Okay. So the testis does not need the temperature which is present in the abdomen. It needs a certain temperature which is lesser than the lower abdomen. Okay. So the scrotum helps the testis in maintaining temperature. Okay. 2 to 2.5 Celsius it needs. Okay. Lower than the normal in the internal body temperature. That is abdomen. In the abdomen, the temperature is more than the scrotal temperature. Okay. Yes. So this temperature is necessary for spermatogenesis. See, if the temperature is more, then the sperms die. Okay. You must have heard that there are some sperm banks and all. In the first chapter, in the second chapter, we just saw that sperm banks are also maintained, isn't it? So the sperms are always, they are preserved in low temperature. Okay. Yes. So for the growth of the sperm, the temperature should be lower. It should be 2 to 2.5 Celsius. Okay. So what is the size and shape of the testis? Just remember this. Length is 4 to 5 centimeter. Testis length. Okay. Length is 4 to 5 centimeter. Width is 2 to 3 centimeter. And shape is oval in shape. Okay. Yes. The testis is covered by dense covering. It is covered by dense covering. Dense is thick covering. Okay. Each testis has about 250 compartments called as testicular lobules. Okay. They have compartments called as testicular lobules. Okay. Yes. Each lobule contains 1 to 3 highly coiled. You can see here highly coiled. Coiled andre ungrungragirtade. Okay. Highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Okay. Each lobule has 1 to 3. Okay. Coiled seminiferous tubules in which sperms are produced. Okay. ಒಂದು ಲೋಬ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ 1 2 3 ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, 1 2 3 ಒಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಎರಡಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಮೂರಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಒಂದು ಕಂಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ತರ 250 ಕಂಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್, in which sperms are produced. So, ಇದರಲ್ಲೇ that is seminiferous tubules ಅಲ್ಲಿ sperms are produced. Sperms are produced in the seminiferous tubules. Okay. Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by two types of cells called as the male germ cell, that is spermatogonia. Okay, male germ cell. And see, what are these? Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its outside by two types of cells. So what are these two types of cells? The one is male germ cell, the other one is Sertoli cells. Okay, male germ cell and Sertoli cells. These are the two types of cells. Outside they are lined. I am sorry, inside they are lined. Okay, yes, inside. So spermatogonia. Male germ cells are called as spermatogonia, and the second one is Sertoli cells. So what are the functions of this? The male germ cells undergo meiotic divisions, finally leading to sperm formation. Okay, so these male germ cells, okay, so which are present inside, okay, inside the seminiferous tubules, they finally undergo meiotic division and form sperm. And what about the Sertoli cells? Sertoli cells, they provide nutrition to the germ cell. Okay, yes. The regions outside the seminiferous tubules are called as interstitial spaces. See, inside is the germ cell as well as the Sertoli cells. Outside, what it is called? It is called as the interstitial spaces. It contains small blood vessels and interstitial cells. Interstitial spaces nalli enide? Small blood vessels ide matte interstitial cells, or they are also called as the Leydig cells. Okay. So what these Leydig cells do? Okay, Leydig cells synthesize and secrete the testicular hormones called as androgens. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಹಳ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ children. This chapter is very very important, and it is ನೀವು ಓದ್ಲಾರ್ದೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೇನು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಎಲ್ಲಾನು ನೀವು ಓದಬೇಕು, ಲೈನ್ ಓದಬೇಕು ಈ ಲೆಸನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. Even for theory it is important, even for NEET also it is important. Okay, Leydig cell synthesize and secrete the testicular hormones called as androgens. It also contains other immunological competent cells. Okay, immunologically competent cells. Other competent cells are also present there. Okay, competent cells antandrena? So they are the cells which undergo competition. Okay, so interstitial cells are there. Okay, so for them and all, they just compete. Yes. The male sex accessory ducts. So what are the male sex accessory ducts? They are the rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vasa deferens. Okay, vas deferens. Yes. The seminiferous tubules of the testis open into the vasa efferentia through rete testis. Okay, we'll just see here. Pull it here. Okay. Let's see. Okay, rete testis you have here, vasa efferentia, then epididymis you have here, and vas deferens you have here. Okay. Okay. And ಇದು ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್. ಸೊ ಇದೇನು ಲೈನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಇದೇ ತರ ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಮೂವ್ ಆಗೋದು, ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಆಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Isn't it? It forms in the seminiferous tubules, isn't it? Yeah. So after formation of the sperms in the seminiferous tubules, first they pass on to the rete testis. Okay. So now at present you just listen to this one. The male sex accessory ducts are rete testis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens. Yeah. The seminiferous tubules of the testis open into the vasa efferentia. Okay. Yes. So seminiferous opens into the vasa efferentia. Directly vasa efferentia baralla. Illinda barutte? From the rete testis it passed to the vasa efferentia. And the seminiferous tubules are directly connected to the rete testis first. Okay. Rete testis inda yenagutte? It goes to the vasa efferentia. Okay. Into the vasa efferentia through the rete testis. The vasa efferentia opens into the epididymis. Vasa efferentia ell open agutte? Epididymis ige open agutte. Okay. And then yes, vasa efferentia open into the epididymis located along the posterior surface of each testis. See, posterior surface hindgade ide. Okay. Epididymis. Where is epididymis? Posterior surface of the each testis. The epididymis leads to the vas deferens. Epididymis here. Epididymis leads to the vas deferens. Vas deferens ಗೆ open ಆಗಿದೆ. Okay. Yes. So it goes this way, isn't it? It goes this way. Then this is the vas deferens. Located along the posterior surface of each testis, the epididymis leads to the vas deferens that ascends to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. Okay. It ascends to the abdomen. See, it is ascending to the abdomen and it loops over the urinary bladder. See, this is a urinary bladder. It ascends to the abdomen. Abdomen ige mele ಏರ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ the bladder is in the abdomen, isn't it? Only the testes are in the scrotal region, below the abdomen, okay, outside the abdomen. But urinary bladder is in the pelvic region, that is in the abdomen itself, okay. Yes, so vas deferens, it ascends to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. Yes, it receives a duct from the seminal vesicle. It receives the, just pull it. It receives a duct from the seminal vesicle. This is seminal vesicle. It receives a duct. See here, isn't it? It is receiving a duct from the seminal vesicle and opens into the urethra. And it opens into the urethra. Okay, opens into the urethra as a ejaculatory duct. So this is called as ejaculatory duct. So what gets ejaculated? The semen gets ejaculated. Okay. Right. Okay. The ejaculatory duct stores and transports the sperm from the testis to the outside through urethra. So finally, the sperms, they just come out in the form of semen through the urethra. Okay. The urethra originates from the urinary bladder. See here. Okay. So the urethra, it is emerging from the urinary bladder. Okay. Yeah. This is the urinary bladder, isn't it? It is connected. Urethra is connected to it. You can see here this whole thing. Yeah. Okay. From the urinary bladder and extends through the penis. It extends through the penis. Till here it extends. Okay. To its external opening called as urethral meatus. So this is the urethral meatus. Okay. Then now, so this is this whole thing, whatever you can see here, it is just the gist of this, from where to where the sperm moves. Okay. See, the seminiferous tubules through the rete testis opens into the vasa efferentia. Then vasa efferentia opens into the epididymis. Epididymis leads to the vas deferens and it ascends to the vas deferens ascends to the abdomen and loops over the urinary bladder. With a duct from seminal vessel, it opens into the urethra as a ejaculatory duct. Yes. So this is the gist. Idradella one ಸಣ್ಣ gist. ಇದನ್ನ ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ನೀವು. Right. Next is penis. Okay. So what is penis? It is a male external genitalia. It is a male external genitalia. You can see here also. You can see here also. Okay. It is made up of special tissue that helps in erection. Okay. Sorry. It is made up of special tissue. Okay. That helps in erection of the penis, which helps in insemination. Okay. During the ejaculation of the sperm. Okay. that is insemination. The erection of the penis takes place with a special tissue. It is made up of special tissue. The enlarged end of the penis is called as the glans penis. The enlarged end is called as the glans penis. Yeah. So this can be given in the form of figure. Okay. Nothing will be given for written for PU board. Okay. Figure is very, very important. The glans penis is covered by a loose fold of skin called as foreskin. Okay. It is a loose skin called as foreskin. Let us see the male accessory glands now. It includes male accessory glands. These are okay glands. So what all we have seen here? We have seen accessory ducts. We have seen. This is very important for board also. Okay. Now male accessory glands. This also is important for board. Okay. It includes paired seminal vesicles, a prostate, paired bulbourethral glands. Okay. Glands. What are the accessory glands? They are, first one is paired seminal vesicles 1 and 2. Okay. So they are 2. So they are called as paired. A prostate, that is single prostate. Okay. Single prostate is 1. Okay. Yeah. Then paired bulbourethral gland. Paired bulbourethral gland. You can see here this one and this one. I'm sorry, this one and this one. Okay. This is prostate. This whole thing is prostate. You can see a small one, this one and this one. Okay. That is the bulbourethral gland. Okay. Right. Secretion of these glands constitutes the seminal plasma. So what is seminal plasma? Seminal plasma is the secretion of seminal vesicles, prostate and bulbourethral glands. Okay. Seminal plasma. Just remember. It can be asked in NEET also. Seminal plasma constitutes what? Okay. Seminal, that is the secretion from the seminal vesicles, secretion from the prostate and secretion from the bulbourethral glands. Okay. Now, seminal plasma is rich in, it is rich in what? Fructose, calcium and certain enzymes. Okay. So when you go for some test, okay, some semen analysis or something, you just find whatever is there in the seminal plasma. Okay. I mean to say the fructose is present, calcium is present and certain enzymes are also present. These are all very important for NEET. Okay. The secretion of the bulbourethral glands also helps in lubrication of the penis. So see, bulbourethral glands, it helps in the formation of the seminal plasma also and it helps in lubrication of the penis also. Okay. It has two functions. Okay. Yes. The female reproductive system, it consists of pair of ovaries, pair of oviduct. Oviduct is nothing but fallopian tubes. Okay. Uterus, cervix, vagina, external genitalia. So one by one we'll just see. Okay. We'll come to this part. So what all it is having? It is having a pair of ovaries. Okay. A pair of oviduct, uterus, cervix, vagina, as well as external genitalia. Okay. Yes, the female reproductive system is located in the pelvic region. Okay. So as male, it is also situated in the pelvic region only. Okay. Yes, so this is the female reproductive structure. Okay, wherein it is situated in the pelvic region. Right. The part of the female reproductive system along with the mammary glands, that is pair of mammary glands, are integrated structurally and functionally to support the process of ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and childcare. Okay, the parts of the female reproductive system. What are the parts of the female reproductive system? As we have seen, it is the ovaries, the uterus, the fallopian tubes, okay, the vagina, the cervix, okay, and the external genitalia, isn't it? Yeah. So what all they help in? They help in ovulation. Okay, they help in ovulation. What helps in ovulation? The ovaries help in ovulation. Fertilization, the fallopian tubes help in fertilization. Pregnancy, the fallopian tubes, then the uterus, everything helps in pregnancy. Birth, okay, the vaginal canal, the cervical canal helps in birth. Child care, that is the mammary glands, okay, they help in child care, right. So the female reproductive system along with the mammary glands, they help in all these functions. What are the functions? Ovulation, fertilization, pregnancy, birth and child care, okay, right. Ovaries. So what are ovaries? Oh, yeah. So these are ovaries, you can see in this figure properly, okay. Pair of ovaries we have said, that is one on the right side or the other one is the left side. Ovaries are the primary female sex organs that produce the female gametes. Female gametes are produced in the ovaries, okay, yes. And several steroid hormones. Steroid hormones are also produced in the ovary itself, okay, the ovarian hormone, estrogen, progesterone, okay. Location of ovaries. Where they are located? They are located one on each side of the lower abdomen. Okay, one on each side of the lower abdomen. So this whole structure is present on the lower abdomen. Okay, yes. Size. Each ovary is about 2 to 4 centimeter in length and is connected to the pelvic wall by uterus. I'm sorry, to the pelvic wall and uterus by ligaments. Okay, so they are 2 to 4 centimeter in length. Okay, next, and it is connected to the pelvic wall. It is connected to the pelvic wall. Okay, and uterus. So to the pelvic wall as well as the uterus by the ligaments. So these are the ovarian ligaments. See, you can see the thread-like structure here. They are called as the ovarian ligaments. Okay, right. Each ovary is covered by a thin epithelium. Each ovary is covered by thin epithelium. Okay, epithelial tissue, you have studied about the tissue, so it is covered by epithelium, which encloses the ovarian stroma. Okay, which encloses the ovarian stroma. That is, the ovarian stroma is enclosed by the epithelium. The stroma is divided into two zones, a peripheral cortex and the inner medulla. Okay, the stroma of the ovary is divided into two. That is the peripheral cortex. Periphery is outside. Okay, and the inner medulla. Right. Oviduct. Oviduct is nothing but the fallopian tube. This part from here to here. Okay. The oviduct is the fallopian tubes. Okay. The oviduct, uterus and vagina constitutes the female accessory ducts. So it comes under the female accessory ducts. So what all they are? One is the fallopian tube, the other one is the vagina, okay, and the vagina as well as the uterus, okay. They are called as the female accessory ducts. Each oviduct is about 10 to 12 centimeter. This is about 10 to 12 centimeter long and extends from the periphery of each ovary. See here. This is the periphery we said, isn't it? Periphery of the stoma, okay? Periphery. It starts from the periphery of each ovary to the uterus, The part closer to the ovary is called as the funnel-shaped infundibulum. So the part of the fallopian tube which is nearer to the ovary is called as the infundibulum. Okay, infundibulum. The edges of the infundibulum possesses finger-like projections called as fimbriae. So these are called as fimbriae. This area is called as infundibulum, and the edge of this, okay, the end part of this is called as the fimbriae. Okay, finger-like projections called as fimbriae. Fimbriae helps in collection of the ovum after ovulation. See, once the follicles are released, okay, the ovum are released, the fallopian tubes, that is the fimbriae. It just grabs it. Okay, so for that, these finger-like projections are important so that it can hold the ovum. Okay. The infundibulum leads to a wider part of the oviduct called as ampulla. So after the infundibulum, okay, this is the infundibulum. So you have ampulla. Okay, ampulla. This area is called as ampulla or ampullary region. The last part of the oviduct is the isthmus. Okay, yes. The last part of the oviduct, that is the isthmus, has a narrow lumen and it joins the uterus. So this is the isthmus which joins the uterus. So see, the part which joins the uterus is the isthmus. Infundibulum. This is infundibulum. Okay. This is fimbriated end. So you can say that the fallopian tube is divided into 4 parts. One is the fimbriated end. Next is the infundibulum. Next is the ampullary region, and the fourth one is the isthmus. Isthmus joins to the uterus. Isthmus is the part of the fallopian tube which joins to the uterus. Ampullary region is the region, or it is the area where fertilization takes place. Okay. Fimbria helps in collecting the ovum. Infundibulum is the region just between the ampullar region as well as the fimbriae. Okay. Yes. Next, uterus. So what is uterus? So this part is the uterus, isn't it? Yeah. Uterus is single. It is also called as the womb, okay, because it holds the child there. Implantation takes place there itself, okay. The shape of the uterus is like an inverted pear. You can see that it is the shape of inverted pear on hannadu, okay, pear shape. Pear anno hannu nodidiralla? Yes. So ಆ shape nalli inverted shape nalli irtade, okay. Inverted pear. Right. Uterus is supported by ligaments attached to the pelvic wall. It is supported by the ligaments. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂಥರ ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸಸ್ಪೆಂಡೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್, ಓಕೆ, ಪೆಲ್ವಿಕ್ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್? ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೆಲ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಲಿಗಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಓಕೆ. ಪೆಲ್ವಿಕ್ ವಾಲಿಗೆ ಲಿಗಾಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇಂದ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಓಕೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೇನು ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಜಾಗ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಕ್ಯಾವಿಟಿ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ರೈಟ್. The uterus opens into the vagina through the narrow cervix. So uterus opens into the narrow cervix. It is very narrow, isn't it? The cavity of the cervix is called as the cervical canal. ಈ ಕೆನಾಲಿಗೆ cervical canal ಅಂತಾರೆ, okay, which along with the vagina forms the birth canal. So this forms the birth canal, okay. The child grows here, okay. The child grows in the body of the uterus, okay, and it comes out through the cervical canal as well as the vagina. So the cervical canal as well as the vagina is called as the birth canal, okay. Birth canal anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Birth canal is formed by what? Cervical canal as well as the vagina, okay. The wall of the uterus has 3 layers. The wall of the uterus has 3 layers. 3 layers ಇದೆ, okay. Endometrium, myometrium and perimetrium. Perimetrium is ಯಾವುದು? ಹೊರಗಿನ layer, okay. It's the outside layer. Myometrium, myo, the name itself suggests that it is muscle, okay. It is made up of muscles, myometrium. Endometrium, endo ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಳಗಿಂದು, okay. So it is attached to the uterine cavity, okay. The wall of the uterus has 3 layers of tissue, okay. The external thin membrane is called as the perimetrium. External, peri, okay. The external thin membrane is called as perimetrium. Middle thick layer of the smooth muscle irutte, ನೆನಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, okay. Myometrium, it is called as the myometrium. The inner glandular layer is called as the endometrium. See, ಮೂರಕ್ಕೂ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸ್ಪೆಷಾಲಿಟಿ ಇದೆ. Thin membrane is called as perimetrium, okay. Smooth muscle membrane is called as myometrium. Thick smooth muscle, okay. Then glandular layer is called as the endometrium. Got it? Yes. So So this glandular layer called as the endometrium, it lines the uterine cavity. Okay, directly uterine cavity ge line agi irutte. Okay, endometrium helps in many things. The endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle. Endometrium shed agodu menstrual cycle nalli. Okay, endometrium has major role. It has major role in pregnancy also, during child birth also, and menstrual cycle also. Okay, right. Next we'll go to, yes, we'll just see this. The endometrium undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle, while the myometrium exhibits strong contraction during delivery of the baby. Okay, see, myometrium, perimetrium we said it is a thin layer which is the outside layer of the uterus. Okay, endometrium, it lines the uterine cavity which undergoes cyclic changes during menstrual cycle. Okay, so one important thing about endometrium is cyclic changes agate menstrual cycle time alli. And what about myometrium? Myometrium during delivery. Okay, during delivery it leads to strong contraction. Okay, strong contraction to just expel out the baby. Okay, yes. The female external genital includes. So what are the female genital organs of female? Okay, they are the mons pubis, first one, labia majora, labia minora, hymen, and clitoris. Okay, yeah. So we'll just see what these are. Mons pubis. It is a cushion of a fatty tissue covered by skin and pubic hair. Okay, theory an important illa idyaudu. Just one round. Neatigi ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಅದರಲ್ಲೂ ಏನು ಅಷ್ಟೊಂದು nothing has been asked here. Okay, but still just go through once. Okay, labia majora are flesh folds of tissue which extends down the mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening. Labia minora. The labia minora are paired folds of tissue under the labia majora. What is hymen? Hymen is a membrane which partially covers the opening of the vagina. Okay. Clitoris. What is clitoris? Clitoris is a tiny finger-like structure which lies at the upper junction of the two labia minora above the urethral opening. Okay, so these are the external genital organs of female. Next is mammary glands. A functional mammary gland is characteristic of all the female mammals. See, whenever mammals are considered, okay, mammals, ಸಸ್ತನಿಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಹೌದಾ, mammals. So the main characteristic feature is the mammary glands. Okay, the mammary glands are paired structures. They are also called as breasts. Okay, they are paired, two. Okay, one on either side of the chest. The mammary glands contain glandular tissue and variable amount of fat. Okay, glandular tissue, glands, completely glands agi ide, glandular tissue and fat. Okay, yes, so these are the glandular tissues and these are the fats. The glandular tissue of each breast is divided into 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Okay, see here, mammary lobes, these are 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Yes, so here it is mentioned, mammary lobe. Okay, the mammary lobes contains clusters of cells called as alveoli. Okay, this figure is very important for boards, children. Nothing written matter is being given. Okay, yeah, just see, just look once for your NEET exams. Okay, just read it once so that everything enters. So from where to where, what and all happened. Okay, mammary lobes contain clusters of cells called as alveoli. Okay, alveoli. The cells of alveoli secretes milk. So where the milk is secreted? The cells of the alveoli secrete milk. Just remember, which is important, which is stored in the cavities, that is lumens of the alveoli. Okay, where it is stored. Secretion, cells of the alveoli. So stored ellagate? It is stored in the cavities of the alveoli. The alveoli opens into the mammary tubules. They open into the mammary tubules. Okay. The tubules of each lobe joins to form the mammary duct. Okay, mammary duct. So they form in this way. Okay, yeah. Several mammary ducts join to form the wider mammary ampulla. Okay, ampulla, wider mammary ampulla. The mammary ampulla is connected to the lactiferous duct. Okay, they are connected to the lactiferous duct. Okay, through which milk is sucked out. Through which milk is sucked out. Okay. So, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಬಿಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರಿಟರ್ನಿಗಂತೂ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇದು. Figure is very important. Okay. I have just made a short form of all this. Okay. Glandular tissue, 15 to 20 mammary lobes, then cluster of cells called as alveoli secrete milk. Where it is stored, it is open, joins to form. Okay. Yeah. So once go through this flow chart also. Okay. Right. Gametogenesis. What is gametogenesis? Okay. Gametogenesis is important for boards. Okay. This figure, this part is for gametogenesis. This part is for oogenesis. We'll see oogenesis later. Okay. First we'll finish gametogenesis. Okay. What is gametogenesis? It may be asked for 1 mark also. It is a process of formation of gametes. Isn't it? Genesis itself is generation, formation. Right. Gametogenesis is a process in which the primary sex organ, that is the testis in males, produce sperms and the ovaries in the females produce ovum. Isn't it? Gametogenesis. It may be either male or female. Gametes may be male or female. Anything. Isn't it? Yeah. Male gametes, female gametes, we say. Isn't it? That is the primary sex organ, that is the testis. They produce sperms and the ovaries in the females produce ovum. Simple. What is spermatogenesis? See, gametogenesis is formation of the gametes. Spermatogenesis is formation of sperms, isn't it? It is a process in which the immature male germ cells, that is the spermatogonia, produces sperms in the testis. Okay. Yes. What is spermatogenesis? So as we said, it is the formation of the sperms, isn't it? The spermatogonia. What are spermatogonia? They are the immature male germ cells. Just remember, what are spermatogonia? They are the immature male germ cells. Okay. The spermatogonia present on the inside wall of the seminiferous tubules. We have seen, isn't it? Spermatogonia, the male germ cells. Okay. They multiply by, we have seen, isn't it, the male germ cell as well as the sertoli cell, which line the inside of the seminiferous tubules, isn't it? They multiply by mitotic division. Okay. They first multiply by mitotic division. You can see here. Okay. Spermatogonia. They multiply by mitosis. Here it is given. Okay. Mitotic division. And they increase in number. See, they have increased in number. Each spermatogonia is diploid. Okay, each spermatogonia is diploid. It is diploid. See, spermatogonium is diploid and contains 46 chromosomes. When they are diploid, they are 46. When they are haploid, they are 23. Okay. Some of the spermatogonia called as primary spermatocytes. Primary, these are the primary spermatocytes. Okay. They periodically undergo meiosis. Okay. The first meiotic division has already occurred here. A primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division, that is reduction division. It reduces, isn't it? It reduces. See, from 4, it has reduced. A primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division, that is the reduction division, leading to formation of 2 equal haploid cells called as secondary spermatocyte. Secondary spermatocyte. Okay. That have only 23 chromosomes because they are haploid. Okay, they are haploid. Just remember, what are haploid? The primary spermatocyte completes the first meiotic division, leading to formation of 2 equal haploid cells called as the secondary spermatocytes. That is, the secondary spermatocytes are haploid. Okay, spermatogonium is diploid. Okay, spermatogonium is diploid. The secondary spermatocytes are haploid. Okay. Yes. Next. The secondary spermatocyte undergoes second meiotic division to produce 4 equal haploid spermatids. Okay. 4 equal haploid. Again, these are also haploid spermatids. Spermatids are also haploid. Remember, okay? Yes, so these are the secondary spermatocytes which are haploid. They produce, after meiosis, they produce 4 equal haploid spermatids. The spermatids are transformed into spermatozoa. Okay, that is the sperms. These are the sperms by the process called as spermiogenesis. Spermiogenesis. Okay, what is spermiogenesis? It is the spermatids which are transformed into spermatozoa. Okay, the spermatids get transformed into spermatozoa. Right. Okay. Yes. So from the haploid, the secondary spermatocyte they undergo, isn't it? The second meiotic division takes place, and it produces haploid spermatids. These are the haploid spermatids. So from which the sperms are produced. Okay. Right. So this is the way you have to write this. Everything you have to mention. Okay. It can be given for written also. It can be given in the form of diagram also. Okay. Just mention the written matter in this way. Right. After spermiogenesis, that is formation of the sperms. Okay. After spermiogenesis, the sperm heads become embedded in the seratory cells. You can see here, isn't it? They are getting embedded in the seratory cells. These are the seratory cells. They are getting embedded in the seratory cells. Seratory cells, again, we said that there are two cells, isn't it? One is the germ cell, male germ cell, and the second one is the seratory cells, which are present inside the seminiferous tubules, isn't it? And they are finally released from the seminiferous tubules by the process called as spermiation. Okay. Yes. They get embedded. Their heads get embedded in the seratory cells, and then they're released out. Okay. Now see, there is one confusion about the definitions. Okay, there are three definitions here. This can be asked for boards also. What is spermatogenesis, spermiogenesis, spermiation? Okay, we'll see what these are. Okay, spermatogenesis is the process of production of sperms in the testis by the immature male germ cell called as spermatogonia. Okay, we said that is the process of production of the sperms. It's all. Okay, how? By the immature germ cell. What is spermiogenesis? It is a process in which the spermatids are transferred into the spermatozoa. That also we have seen. Spermiation. What is spermiation? It is a release of the sperm. This is transformation of the sperms. This is formation of the or production of the sperms. This is release of the sperms from the seminiferous tubules. See, just remember the three words, okay? This is production of the sperm. This is transformation of the sperms. This is, the transformation of the spermatids into sperms. This is release of the sperms. Okay, right. Spermatogenesis starts at the age of puberty. Okay, spermatogenesis, that is the formation of the sperms, start at the age of the puberty, almost 13-14 years. Okay, due to increase in the secretion of the gonadotrophin hormone. Okay, that is gonadotrophin releasing hormone. GnRH it is called as, isn't it? It's a hypothalamic hormone. This part is very, very important. Okay, just remember GnRH is a hypothalamic hormone. Okay, yeah, that is, it is situated below the thalamus. The increased level of the GnRH then acts at the pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of two gonadotrophins, that is luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Okay, this part is very important, children. Okay, spermatogenesis, even for board it is very, very important. You have to write. Okay, when does the spermatogenesis starts? Okay, it starts at the age of the puberty. And how does it start? It is due to increase in the secretion of the GnRH hormone. GnRH is a hypothalamic hormone the increased level of the GnRH then acts at the pituitary gland, okay. It acts on the pituitary gland and stimulates the secretion of two gonadotropin hormones, okay. They are the luteinizing hormone LH and follicle stimulating hormone, okay. Yes, so what these do, okay. LH, what does LH do, okay. That is luteinizing hormone. LH acts at the Leydig cells, okay, which provide nutrition, we said, okay. LH acts at the Leydig cell and stimulates the synthesis and secretion of the androgens, okay. It helps in the synthesis and the secretion of the androgens. Yeah, we said that Leydig cells, they secrete the androgens, isn't it? The male hormone. Androgens in turn stimulates the process of spermatogenesis, okay. Androgens, what they do? They in turn stimulate the process of the spermatogenesis, okay. Androgen stimulates the process of spermatogenesis, right. FSH, these are very, very important, okay. What does luteinizing hormone do? What does FSH do, okay. FSH acts on the seratory cells and stimulates the secretion of some factors which help in the process of spermiogenesis, okay. FSH, it acts on the seratory cells, okay. LH acts at the Leydig cells, just remember, okay. Leydig cells help in synthesis and secretion of the androgens. FSH acts on the seratory cells, okay, and stimulates the secretion of some factors, okay. Yeah. Structure of the sperm. Microscopic structure. Why it is called as microscopic? Because it cannot be seen through the naked eyes, okay. It comprises a head, neck and a middle piece and a tail, okay. It consists of a head, neck, a middle piece and tail, okay. A plasma membrane envelops the whole body of the sperm, okay. The whole body of the sperm is enclosed by the plasma membrane, okay. Yes. Sperm head. Now we'll talk about the sperm head, okay. It contains an elongated haploid nucleus, okay. See, just remember, haploid nucleus is present here, okay. It contains an elongated haploid nucleus. The anterior portion of the sperm head is covered by a cap-like structure called as an acrosome. You can see here, cap-like structure is called as acrosome. The acrosome is filled with enzymes that help fertilization of the ovum. Acrosome is filled with enzymes, okay. It is filled with enzymes, okay. It helps in the fertilization of the ovum, okay. So the head itself, isn't it? The acrosome itself, it pierces the zona pellucida, okay. Yeah. The acrosome, okay, finish. Middle piece. The middle piece possesses numerous mitochondria. Middle piece, it contains or it possesses numerous mitochondria which produce energy for the movement of the tail, okay. So the tail has to move, isn't it? Okay. So the body, that I am to say, the middle piece, it contains mitochondria. Mitochondria, we say that it is a powerhouse of the cell, okay, isn't it? So powerhouse in the cells, it gives energy, okay, that facilitate the sperm motility, essential for the fertilization. Sperm is the one which moves, we said, isn't it? In first chapter we said that in males the sperm moves, okay, the ovum doesn't move, okay. Yeah, there's a note here. The human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 million sperms during a coitus, of which for normal fertility at least 60% sperms must have normal shape and size, and at least 40% of the sperms must show vigorous motility. Okay, yes. So normally doctors, they just go for semen analysis when an infertility couple comes, okay, or one infertility condition comes to the doctor, okay. They just check for their sperm count, okay. So for a male to be fertile, we have to say that the male is fertile, okay. Infertility is a condition wherein either the male or the female is infertile. They are not in a condition to produce the gametes, okay. Yeah. So in this condition, the human male ejaculates about 200 to 300 million sperms. Okay. So a normal male he may produce 200 to 300 millions of sperms during a coitus. Okay. But 60% of the sperm must have normal shape and size. Okay. And it should show vigorous motility. It has to move, isn't it? If it doesn't move, then definitely it is a case of infertility. This is just a note which is mentioned in NCERT. Okay. Transport of sperms. Isn't it? What we say that the male gametes move, so it has to get transferred, isn't it? Sperms released from the seminiferous tubules are transported by the accessory ducts. We have seen already, isn't it? Secretion of the epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles and prostate are essential for maturation and motility of the sperm. So we have already seen it. The seminal plasma along with the sperms constitute the semen. So what is semen? Okay. So sperm, the ejaculation of the sperm, we cannot see, isn't it? Sperms are microscopic. So they are present in the semen. Okay. Semen analysis is done to check how many sperms are present, how many sperms are motile. Okay. Yeah, the seminal plasma along with the sperms constitutes the semen. This is very important. Okay. The functions of the male sex accessory duct and glands are maintained by the testicular hormones called as androgens. Right. Okay. Oogenesis. As we have said, gametogenesis as well as spermatogenesis, we have something called as oogenesis. Ooh. Okay. Ovum. Yeah. The process of formation of the mature female gamete is called as oogenesis. So what is oogenesis? Maybe asked for 1 mark. The process of formation of mature female gamete is called as oogenesis. Mature female gamete. The process of formation. Okay. Yes. Oogenesis is initiated during embryonic development. Okay. It is initiated during the embryonic development stage when a couple of million gamete mother cells, that is oogonia, are formed within each fetal ovary. Just remember, okay? So during the development stage, embryonic development stage, andre magu hotteyalli irabekadre millions of gamete mother cells are formed, okay? Fetal ovary nallene, okay? Yes. No more oogonia are formed and added after birth. Andre ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಮಗು ಹುಟ್ಟಿತು, okay? Female child birth ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ no more oogonia are formed. Just remember, okay? No more oogonia are formed. ಏನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗೋದನ್ನು ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯಾನಿಕ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ನಲ್ಲೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಗು ಹೊಟ್ಟೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಓಕೆ. Yes. These cells start division and enter into the prophase 1 stage, okay, of the meiotic division and get temporarily arrested at this stage called as primary oocyte, okay. Yeah. Each primary oocyte then gets surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells and is called as the primary follicle. This one, okay. Yes, this is the primary follicle. A large number of these follicles degenerate during the phase from birth to puberty. So birth ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ puberty ವರೆಗೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ಪ್ರೈಮರಿ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ. ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್, ಓಕೆ, ಸತ್ತೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತವೆ. Therefore at puberty, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, millions, isn't it? Couple of millions of oogonia are formed. So finally ಬರ್ತ್ ಇಂದ ಪ್ಯೂಬರ್ಟಿ ವರೆಗೂ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ 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 ಪ್ಯೂಬರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಉಳಿತದೆ, 60,000 to 80,000 what are left, oogonias are left, okay, that is primary follicles are left, okay, are left in each ovary. 60 to 80,000 primary follicles are left in each ovary, okay. Yes, the primary follicles get surrounded by more layers of granulosa cell. E cell, I mean to say the covering, whatever it is surrounded, it is granulosa cell. See here also we have that, isn't it? The primary oocyte is surrounded by the granulosa cells. Idu nenpitkobeku ನೀವು, okay? Granulosa cells are very very important. And a new theca. okay, and are called as secondary follicle. Matte granulosa cells ide and a new theca is there. Okay, theca is a covering. Okay, secondary follicles are formed. Okay, secondary follicles are formed. Okay, so the secondary follicle soon transforms into the tertiary follicle. Secondary, they just they get transferred into the tertiary follicle. Okay, which is characterized by a fluid filled cavity called as antrum. Okay, showing the antrum also is shown here. Right. The theca layer is organized into an inner theca interna and an outer theca externa. Okay, the theca layer, theca enide, a new theca layer. Okay, it is organized into an inner theca interna and an outer theca externa. Right. At this stage, the primary oocyte within the tertiary follicle grows in size and completes its first meiotic division. So here you can see, okay, the first meiotic division, primary oocyte. Okay, yeah, it completes its first meiotic division. It is an unequal division resulting in the formation of the large haploid secondary oocyte and a tiny first polar body. You can see here. Okay, you can see here, unequal division resulting in the formation of the large haploid secondary oocyte. Large haploid, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನೀವು. haploid, which one is haploid? Okay, oocyte, large secondary oocyte, haploid secondary oocyte idu, and the first polar body. Okay, yeah. Next, the secondary oocyte retains bulk of the nutrient rich cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. Why? See, the secondary oocyte nalli enide, it retains, what it retains? It retains bulk of the nutrient rich cytoplasm of the primary oocyte. Primary oocyte addu, okay, primary oocyte addu nutrient rich cytoplasm anna adu inna uliskondiruttade. Yake? Okay, yake? This may be asked. Okay, this is because the secondary oocyte develops as an embryo. Okay, the secondary oocyte itself develops as an embryo and undergoes fertilization and formation of the zygote. The nutrient rich cytoplasm helps in the nutrition of the embryo. Nutrition goskara it retains the rich nutrient cytoplasm. Okay, this may be asked. There is a note here. Does the first polar body born out of the first meiotic division divide further or it degenerates? Okay, ಇದು ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ first polar body? Okay, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? The first polar body does not divide. It doesn't divide. Okay, it degenerates ಅಂತ generally there is a saying, but not very much certain. ಅಂದ್ರೆ sure ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು degenerate ಆಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂತ sure ಇಲ್ಲ. Okay, it doesn't divide, that is true, but degenerate ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ಲೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. Okay, we are not sure. NCERT ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು it degenerates but not very certain ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, yes. So the tertiary follicle further changes into the mature follicle or the graphene follicle. You can see here. Okay, graphene follicle, tertiary. Again, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ next stages. ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, ಇದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್, graphene follicle ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂತು. Okay, yes, changes into mature follicle or the graphene follicle. The secondary oocyte forms a new membrane called as zona pellucida surrounding it. Okay, then the graphene follicle now ruptures to release the secondary oocyte, that is the ovum. Secondary oocyte ಅಂದ್ರನೇ ovum. Okay, graphene follicle rupture ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, graphene follicle rupture ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, so what happens? The secondary oocyte, the ovum, from the ovary by the process of ovulation, that is release of the ovum takes place. Okay, yes. So this is how ovulation takes place. Okay, idella completely it is about how ovulation takes place. Okay, this also is very important. Okay, oogenesis kuda important ide, idu ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Spermatogenesis is very important. Oogenesis is also important. Just go through. Okay, for theory I am saying, even for NEET. Okay, menstrual cycle. So what is menstrual cycle? Menstrual cycle is the reproductive cycle in the female primates. Example is monkeys, apes and human beings. Okay, so we can see menstrual cycle in now nodidvi idralli estrous cycle, menstrual cycle. Okay, first chapter nalli we have just seen. So now we have a detailed menstrual cycle here. Okay, yes, so monkeys alli, apes alli matte human beings alli you can see menstrual cycle. What is menarche? The first menstruation begins at puberty. This is called as menarche. Okay, in human females menstruation is repeated at an average interval of about 28 to 29 days. Andre 28-29 days ಗೆ ಮತ್ತೆ cycle repeat ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ menstruation is repeated. Okay, once in 28 days. Menstrual cycle, what it is? The cycle of events starting from one menstruation till the next one is called as the menstrual cycle. ಇದು 1 ಮಾರ್ಕಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು. Okay, what is menarche ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, what is menstrual cycle ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. 1 ಮಾರ್ಕದ್ದು questions ಇದಲ್ಲ. Okay, yes, one ovum is released, that is ovulation. Release of ovum is called as ovulation, that we have seen. One ovum is released during the middle of each menstrual cycle. Okay, ನಾವೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ, once in 28 or 29 days menstruation repeats, isn't it? So ovum ಯಾವಾಗ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? We are saying that during the middle of each menstrual cycle. Middle ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? 28 days ಗೆ middle ಯಾವುದು? 28 by 2 is 14. So 14th day ovulation takes place, that is ovum is released. Okay, if it is a 30-day cycle then it is 30 by 2, 15th day ಗೆ ovulation ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ ತರ. Okay, each and every woman doesn't menstruate on 28th or 29th day itself. Okay, the cycle may change. Some of the women may have her menstruation once in 22 days, 24 days or 26 days or 32 days, 34 days. Okay, yeah, so whatever it is you have to divide it by 2 and the ovulation takes place on that day. Okay, one which is like ಏನು ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು, ಆ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ನಂಬರ್ ಏನು ಬಂದಿರ್ತದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಸೊ that will be her ovulation day. Okay, ಆ ಡೇ ನಲ್ಲಿ woman will release her ovum. Okay, yeah, so major events of menstrual cycle. Cycle starts with okay the menstrual phase. What are the major events? Major events in a menstrual cycle adu menstrual phase bandu. Okay, phases of menstruation we have here. Menstrual phase, follicular or the proliferative phase, luteal phase. Okay, yeah, or the secretory phase also it is called. Right, so ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗೋಣ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Menstrual phase. So what is menstrual phase? The name itself suggests that menstrual phase alli 3 to 5 days bleeding ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, that is the menstrual phase. Okay, menstruation ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ. Menstrual flow occurs and lasts for 3 to 5 days. Results due to breakdown of the endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessels. Okay, which forms liquid that comes out through the vagina. So this is a menstrual flow. Okay, menstrual phase nalli menstrual flow irutte. Menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Okay, this is very important. Fertilization ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ovum fertilization ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ sperm ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ menstruation takes place. Menstruation ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ovum fertilized ಆಗಿದೆ, it leads to pregnancy ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. Okay, see here, lack of menstruation ಅಂದ್ರೆ menstruation ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ it may be an indicative of pregnancy. Okay, menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. They go hand in hand. Okay, yes, but not all lack of menstruation is pregnancy. Okay, sometimes hormone changes, something may be there. Right, okay. So lack of menstruation may also be due to other causes like stress, poor health, etc. Okay, yeah. Follicular phase. So ಇದು menstrual phase ಆಯ್ತು, follicular phase. So follicular phase ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, follicles ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ನೋಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ ನಾವು, ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕೆ ಡೆವಲಪ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್? So it has to rupture and release a ovum adragoskara. Okay, yeah. During follicular phase, what happens? The primary follicles in the ovary grows to become fully mature graphene follicle, and simultaneously the endometrium of the uterus regenerates through proliferation. Okay, proliferation kuda antare idakke. Okay, proliferate agate. The changes in the ovary and uterus are induced by changes in the level of the pituitary and ovarian hormone. This you have to remember. Changes in the ovary edrinda irutte. Okay, ovary and uterus nal changes barode pituitary hormone matte ovarian hormones inda. Okay, the secretion of the gonadotrophins, that is LH and FSH, increases gradually during the follicular phase and stimulates the follicular development as well as secretion of the estrogen by the growing follicles. Okay, secretion of gonadotrophins yaudu LH and FSH. Okay, so they increase gradually with the follicular phase and stimulates the follicular development. So ಯಾವ್ಯಾವುದು hormones help ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Pituitary and ovarian hormones and secretions of the gonadotrophins, that is LH, luteinizing hormone ಮತ್ತೆ follicle stimulating hormone, ಇವೆರಡು ಕೂಡ they take a major role. Okay, both LH and FSH attain a peak level in the middle of the cycle ನೋಡಿ. Okay, ಯಾಕೆ? ovulation ಆಗಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಆ ಡೇ 14th ಡೇಗೆ. ಸೊ ದೇ ಅಟೇನ್ ಪೀಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಆ ಟೈಮಿಗೆ ಏನಾದರೂ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ, ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬ್ಲಡ್ ಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಆನ್ ದ ಮಿಡಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ menstrual cycle, that is on the 14th day or it may be on the 15th day or 13th day, ಆ ಥರ ಮಾಡಿಸಿದಾಗೆ 26 cycle ಅಂದರೆ 13 day ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಬೋತ್ LH and FSH ದೇ ಅಟೇನ್ ಅ ಪೀಕ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೈ ಲೆವೆಲ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅವಾಗ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾ 14th ಡೇಗೆ. Rapid secretion of LH leading to its maximum level during the mid-cycle called LH surge induces rupture of the graphene follicle. So, avatte rupture agate. Yake? Okay, because of the LH surge. Okay, LH surge due to the pressure of LH, that is luteinizing hormone. Okay, right. It induces the rupture of the graphene follicle and thereby the release of the ovum. Ovulatory phase nalli, this is called as ovulatory phase. Okay, ovulation agate ಇಲ್ಲಿ. This is because of the LH surge. ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, LH surge. LH surge causes ovulation. Okay, high level ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. Yeah, LH goes to peak level. ಯಾಕೆ? Because of the LH surge. Okay, and due to the LH surge, it induces the rupture of the graphene follicle. Graphene follicle rupture ಆಗೋದೇ LH surge ಇಂದ. ಓಕೆ, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಪೀಕ್ ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಲೂಟನೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಹಾರ್ಮೋನ್. ರೈಟ್. ಲೂಟಿಯಲ್ ಫೇಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಲ್ ಫೇಸ್? The ovulatory phase is followed by the luteal phase. In this phase, okay, ovulatory phase ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ luteal phase ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Okay, luteal phase. In this phase, the remaining part of the graphene follicle transforms as the corpus luteum. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ luteal phase ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ovulatory phase is followed by the luteal phase. In this phase, the remaining part of the graphene follicle, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ರಪ್ಚರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತದೆ graphene follicle, the remaining part of that ruptured graphene follicle will be there, isn't it? Okay, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಒಡೆದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದರಿಂದ ಓಮ್ ಹೊರಗೆ ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. But that ruptured part, the remaining part of the graphene follicle ಏನಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, that gets transformed as a corpus luteum. So what is the function of it? The corpus luteum secretes large amount of progesterone. See, okay. So progesterone ಯಾವುದು secrete ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? Corpus luteum secrete ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ progesterone ಅನ್ನ, which is essential for the maintenance of the endometrium. Okay. ಎಂಡೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎರಡೂ ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕೂಡ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಓವಮ್ ಶೆಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಯಿತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಮೆನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರುಯೇಷನ್ಗೆ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ದ ಎಂಡೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಯಮ್. ಓಕೆ, such an endometrium is necessary for implantation of the fertilized ovum and other events of the pregnancy. Okay, ಆ ಥರದ್ದು ಎಂಡೋಮೆಟ್ರಿಯಮ್ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, implantation of the fertilized ovum ಗೆ or events of the pregnancy further. Okay, it has to take care. There is a note here. During pregnancy, all events of the menstrual cycle stops and there is no menstruation. Isn't it? We have seen it. Pregnancy ittu, menstruation iralla. Menstruation ಆಯಿತು, pregnancy ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. Okay, but ಎಲ್ಲ missed menstruation is not pregnancy. That also we have seen ಇನ್ ದ ಆಬ್ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಂ ಏನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? ಇಟ್ ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ಸ್. ಅದು ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಂ ಏನಾಗಿರ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಡಿಜನರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಪ್ರತಿ ತಿಂಗಳ ಇದು ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಂ ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರ್ತದೆ. ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅವು ಉಳಿದಿದ್ದ ಗ್ರಾಫಿಯನ್ ಫಾಲಿಕಲ್ ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಕಾರ್ಪಸ್ ಲೂಟಿಯಂ, if pregnancy is there, then corpus luteum helps in the implantation of the embryo. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು degenerate ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This causes disintegration of the endometrium, leading to menstruation. Okay, so what leads to menstruation? Disintegration of the endometrium. Okay, leads to menstruation. That is ಮತ್ತೆ next new cycle ಬಂತು. Right. Note, here there is a note. In human beings, menstrual cycle ceases around 50 years of age. This is called as menopause. This is 1 mark question. In human beings, menstrual cycle ceases around 50 years of age. This is termed as menopause. Okay. There is a note, 1 more note here. Cyclic menstruation is an indicator of normal reproductive phase. Okay. Cyclic menstruation ಅಂದ್ರೆ once in 28 days, 30 days cycle ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? That is called as cyclic menstruation. What it indicates? It indicates a normal reproductive phase. Okay. So normal reproductive phase ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಇರುತ್ತೆ? ಮೆನಾರ್ಕೆಯಿಂದ ಹಿಡಿದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು it is till the menopause. It extends between the menarche and menopause. ಅಂದ್ರೆ normal reproductive phase extends between menarche and menopause. Okay, remember. Next topic is fertilization and implantation. Okay. So insemination, we have seen in the first page what is insemination, isn't it? It is a release of the semen by the penis into the vagina. Okay, that is called as insemination. The release of semen by the penis into the vagina is called as insemination. Ashti. Yeah, semen has to enter the vagina. That is called as insemination. How and where does fertilization takes place? Okay, next question is fertilization ಯಾವ ತರ take place ಆಗುತ್ತೆ? Okay, release of semen by the penis. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ insemination ಅಂದ್ರೆ semen is released by the penis into the vagina. Okay, first point. Then motile sperms ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ vagina ನಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಯಿತು semen ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ motile sperms are motile, isn't it? They swim rapidly. They pass through the cervix, enter into the uterus. Okay, cervix, vagina in the cervix in the uterus ಗೆ pass ಆಯಿತು. After reaching the uterus, it finally reaches the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Okay, ampullaದಲ್ಲಿ it reaches. So there itself the fertilization takes place ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಅವಾಗಲೇ. Okay, the fertilization occurs in the ampullary region of the fallopian tubes. This is very important. Okay, fertilization can occur only if the ovum and the sperm are transported simultaneously. Okay, ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಓವಮ್ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಪುಲರಿ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಕೂಡ ಆಂಪುಲರಿ ರೀಜನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಿರಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ occur only if the ovum and the sperms are transported simultaneously to the ampullary region. Okay, this is why not all copulation leads to fertilization and pregnancy. Okay, yes. So what is fertilization? Yeah, ಈಗ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಬಂತು ಆಂಪುಲರಿ ರೀಜನ್ಗೆ, ಓವಮ್ ಆಂಪುಲರಿ ರೀಜನ್ಗೆ ಬಂತು, ಸೊ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್? ಓಕೆ, ದ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಅನ್ ಓವಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ದ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಯಿತು, ಆ ಆಂಪುಲರಿ ರೀಜನ್ಗೆ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಫ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ovum has taken, that is the fusion of the sperm with the ovum has taken place. Okay, how do we say that only one sperm fertilizes an ovum? ಎಷ್ಟೊಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, millions of sperms are released, isn't it? During one coitus millions of sperms are released ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ವಿ. ಆ millions of sperms, they don't take part in fertilization, only one sperm takes part in fertilization. Okay, why do we say so? ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಈ ಫಿಗರ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಇದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಸ್ಪರ್ಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ದೂರನೇ ಇದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? We'll just see here. Okay. During fertilization, okay, a sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida layer of the ovum. This is the zona pellucida layer of the ovum. Idu grey color andu. Okay. Right. It induces changes in the membrane. So immediately ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? Changes ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ membrane ಅಲ್ಲಿ changes ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. When the sperm head comes in contact with the zona pellucida, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು sperm ಬಂತು, ಇದೇ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅದೇ ಬರಬೇಕಂತ ಏನಿರಲ್ಲ. So any one sperm comes in contact with the zona pellucida, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಆ membrane ಅಲ್ಲಿ changes ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ. Okay? ಆ membrane ಅಲ್ಲಿ changes ಬಂದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? It blocks the entry of the additional sperms. So ಈ membrane change ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ it blocks the entry of other sperms. So this is the reason. Okay? The secretion of the acrosome helps the sperm. The secretion of the acrosome ನೋಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು, cap-like structure, isn't it? It helps the sperm enter into the cytoplasm of the ovum through the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. Okay, through the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane. Right. This induces, that is the entry of the sperm into the cytoplasm of the ovum. This helps to enter that is the entry of the sperm into the cytoplasm of the ovum. The completion of the meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. Okay, that is, this completes the meiotic division of the secondary oocyte. The secondary meiotic division is also unequal. ಈಗ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಬಂದ್ವಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನಾವು, ಹೌದಾ? The second meiotic division is also unequal and it results in the formation of the second polar body and a haploid ovum. See here, it is haploid ovum. Okay, right. Haploid sperm ಬಂದಿತ್ತು, haploid ovum ಅಂದ್ರೆ gametes are haploid. Just remember. Okay. Soon the haploid nucleus of the sperm and the haploid nucleus of the ovum, they fuse together to form the diploid zygote. ಅಂದ್ರೆ haploid gamete ಇವೆರಡು haploid gametes. Haploid sperm, haploid ovum. They fuse to form a diploid zygote. This is a stage of sex determination of the body. ಈ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ we say that there is a sex determination of the body. Okay. Yes. So how do we say that at this stage itself the sex determination is being done? ಯಾಕೆ? Okay. Yeah. Sex determination ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಯಾವ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay. Yeah. Let us see. How is the sex of the baby decided? ಇದು ಮೇಲ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇದು ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ಚೈಲ್ಡೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು it is clearly indicated. Okay. The chromosome pattern in the human female is XX. Okay. ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ. Chromosome pattern in human female is XX and that in the male is XY. Therefore, all the haploid gametes, that is the ova, produced by the female have sex chromosomes. That is, sex chromosomes, ಯಾವ sex chromosome ಇರುತ್ತೆ? X ನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ, ಫೀಮೇಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. Okay. Whereas sex chromosomes of the male are X or Y. Okay. It may be X or it may be Y. Okay. So hence 50% of the sperms carry X chromosome while the other 50% they carry Y chromosome. If the X chromosome of the, okay, if the X chromosome, it just fuses with the X of the male. Okay. See, after fusion of male and female gametes, the zygote would carry either XX or XY depending on whether the sperm carrying X fertilized the ovum or the sperm carrying Y fertilized the ovum. Okay. So XX will give you female and XY will give you male. Okay. Yes. So at this stage itself, one can just say or can determine the sex of the child. The zygote carrying XX would develop into a female baby and a XY would form a male baby. So the sex of the baby is determined by the father and not by the mother. Okay. ಇದು ನಿಮಗೆ ಲಾಂಗ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಬಹುದು, ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಜೆನೆಟಿಕ್ಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಬರೆಯೋದು ನೀವು. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಫಿಗರ್ ಇದೆ, ಆ ಫಿಗರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ ಥಿಯರಿ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಇದು ಥಿಯರಿಗೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇದು. ಓಕೆ, Right. So what is implantation? Yes, implantation. Okay. What is implantation? Implantation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನಾನು, ಯೂಟ್ರೈನ್ ವಾಲಿಗೆ adhere ಆಗೋದು, attach ಆಗೋದು. Okay. Yes. That's the embryo or the blastocyst. Right. Implantation. So first ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಓಕೆ. Yes. The mitotic division starts as the zygote moves through the isthmus of the oviduct. Okay. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ. Here you can see. ಇದು ಓವರಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಓವಮ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಿಮ್ರಿಯೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಂಡ್ ಓವಮ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಮುಂದೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಂಗೂ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಮೈಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಮೂವ್ಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಇಸ್ತಮಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಇಸ್ತಮಸ್ ಇದು, ಹೌದಾ? ಸೊ ಝೈಗೋಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಇಸ್ತಮಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಓವಿಡಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಫೆಲೋಪಿಯನ್ ಟ್ಯೂಬ್. ಅದು ಕ್ಲೀವೇಜ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಕ್ಲೀವೇಜ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್? ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್. ಕ್ಲೀವೇಜ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಭಾಗ ಆಗೋದು, ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗೋದು. ಮೈಟಾಟಿಕ್ ಡಿವಿಷನ್, ಕ್ಲೀವೇಜ್ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಎಸ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮಗೆ, ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್ the zygote forms 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells called as blastomeres. Okay. ಈ ತರ 2. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫರ್ಟಿಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ 2 ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಕ್ಲೀವೇಜ್ ಆಯ್ತಾ, 2, 4, 6, 8 and 16. Okay, daughter cells are formed. Blastomeres, ಇಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ blastomeres ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, that is blastomeres. The embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres is called as morula. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊರುಲಾ. ಮೊರುಲಾ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅಂತಾರೆ? 8 to 16 ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as morula. The embryo is called as morula. Embryo with what? Embryo with 8 to 16 blastomeres are called as morula. Okay, yes. Next, morula ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Okay, morula blastocyst ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. The morula continues to divide and transforms into blastocyst. ಈ morula again it starts dividing, okay, and it forms into blastocyst. Okay, once the blastocyst is formed, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? Okay, blastocyst. Next, the blastomeres in the blastocyst are arranged into an outer layer called as trophoblast. Okay, blastomeres ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ? blastocyst ಒಳಗಡೆ blastomeres, they are arranged into an outer layer. An outer layer is arranged which is called as a trophoblast. Okay, so ಈ blastocyst ಗೆ it is implantation. ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಅದು ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆ, ವಾಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಯೂಟ್ರಸ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ? ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಇ ಅಂತ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದಾರ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇದೆನಾ ಮೊರುಲಾ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟಿಗೆ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್. ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಮಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, zygote which divides into 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cells, that is blastomeres. Confuse ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟೋಮಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಗೆ. ಟ್ರೋಪೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ is an outer layer. ಓಕೆ, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ as ಟ್ರೋಪೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಅದು ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟ್ರೋಪೋಬ್ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಸುತ್ತ. Trophoblast gets converted into inner cell mass. The inner group of the cells attached to the endometrium is called as the inner cell mass. So ಇಲ್ಲಿ further trophoblast ಆದ ತಕ್ಷಣ inner cell mass grow ಆಗ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. The trophoblast layer then gets attached to the endometrium and the inner cell mass gets differentiated as a embryo. Okay, so inner cell mass it gets differentiated as an embryo. Okay, yes. After attachment, the uterine cell divide rapidly and covers the blastocyst. Okay, after attachment ಆಯ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ blastocyst stage ಗೆ attachment ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, that is inner cell mass ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. Trophoblast is an outer layer. Okay, then the inner cell mass it gets differentiated as an embryo. ಅದೇ growing embryo, ಅದೇ child. Okay, attachment ಆಯ್ತು. attachment ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಾಯ್ತು? The uterine cell divides rapidly and covers the blastocyst. So that stage is called as blastocyst. And uterine cells ಏನಿದೆ, they start dividing rapidly and they start covering the blastocyst. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ blastocyst it has to protect, isn't it? The growing embryo ನ ಅದು ಪ್ರೊಟೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ it starts dividing and it covers the blastocyst. Then finally the implantation takes place. Okay, implantation. The blastocyst becomes embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. This is called as implantation. What is implantation? Blastocyst becomes embedded in the endometrium. Okay, endometrium of the uterus. So this is called as implantation. And finally it leads to pregnancy. ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಜಿಗೆ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು, ಸೊ ಅಪ್ ಟಿಲ್ ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಪಾಸಿಟಿವ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್, ಇಂಪ್ಲಾಂಟೇಶನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರೆಗ್ನೆನ್ಸಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎಂಬ್ರಿಯಾನಿಕ್ ಡೆವಲಪ್ಮೆಂಟ್. Pregnancy and embryonic development. Okay, so we have seen implantation. What is implantation? The blastocyst becomes embedded in the endometrium of the uterus. So this is called as implantation, isn't it? Yeah. So this leads to pregnancy, we said. So what is pregnancy? Okay, pregnancy and embryonic development. So after implantation what happens? The chorionic villi are developed. Okay, so the chorionic villi with the uterine tissues, they help in the formation of the placenta. This is for your shortcut I have made in this way. Okay, yeah, so we'll see the detailed form. So after implantation what happens? The chorionic villi are formed. What are chorionic villi? They are finger-like projections which appear on the trophoblast. Okay, it is surrounded by the uterine tissues and the maternal blood. Okay, so the chorionic villi, with the help of the uterine tissue, they form the placenta, we said, isn't it? So what forms the placenta? The chorionic villi and the uterine tissue becomes interdigitated with each other. Interdigitated in the sense, they just enter one inside the other, okay, with each other, and jointly forms the structural and functional unit between the developing embryo and maternal body called as placenta. Okay, so when the word somewhere in the question, if you have seen interdigitated chorionic villi, uterine tissue, okay, so that is nothing but placenta itself, and placenta is the structural and the functional unit between the developing embryo and the maternal body. Okay, so you can see in this picture clearly, this is a placenta, this is a growing embryo. Okay, yes, and this is the maternal body. This whole thing is the maternal body. Okay, yeah, placenta. So this part of the placenta can be given for theory exam. Okay, the functions of the placenta it is. So what placenta does? Placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Okay, see, it does two works. One is to and the other one is from. Okay, to and from. Okay, you have to just remember these two things. What it does, it supplies the oxygen and nutrients to the embryo. Okay, to the embryo, helps in removal of carbon dioxide and excretory waste material produced from the embryo. Okay, by the embryo or from the embryo. The placenta is connected to the embryo through an umbilical cord. It is connected through the umbilical cord, okay, which helps in transport of the substance to and from the embryo. So I said what is supplied is called as to, what is removed out is from. Okay, yeah. Placenta also acts as an endocrine tissue. Placenta also acts as an endocrine tissue. Endocrine tissue in the sense they are ductless glands, okay, and produces several hormones like human chorionic gonadotrophin, okay, HCG, human chorionic gonadotrophin, HCG. This is very important. This may be asked for 3 marks also, 2 marks also. Okay, human placental lactogen, human placental lactogen, HPL, estrogens and progesterone. Okay, yeah, so these are the important hormones which the placenta produces. Okay, in the later phase of pregnancy, See, whenever the blood test has been done, okay, sometimes the urine for pregnancy may show negative, but when blood test is done, if HCG is seen in the blood, okay, then it is positive, okay, because HCG is only seen in pregnancy, because placenta is seen during pregnancy, okay, otherwise the placenta will not be there, okay. In the later phase of pregnancy, what happens? A hormone called as relaxin is also secreted by the ovary. Yes, okay. It's a hormone secreted by ovary. So which is the hormone secreted by ovary? In the later phase of pregnancy, okay, that is relaxin. Just remember, these are the placental hormones. Relaxin is a ovarian hormone. Don't get confused, okay. HCG, HPL and relaxin are produced in women only during pregnancy, okay, as I said earlier. The same NCRT also has been given here, okay. In addition, during pregnancy, the level of other hormones like estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, etc. are increased several folds in the maternal blood, okay. Several folds in the sense, these are all present even in the absence of the pregnancy, okay. Which are the hormones? Estrogen, progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, these are also present apart from pregnancy, that is in absence of pregnancy also, but they are increased several folds in the maternal blood during pregnancy, okay. Increased production of these hormones is essential for supporting the fetal growth. So what for these hormones are increased? These hormones support the fetal growth, metabolic changes in the mother and maintenance of pregnancy. Okay. So these are very important. Yeah, there is a note. What changes takes place immediately after implantation? Okay, implantation itself is the stage of pregnancy. Immediately after implantation, what happens? The inner cell mass, that is the embryo. Inner cell mass itself is the embryo. It starts differentiating, okay, into an outer layer called as ectoderm, an inner layer called as endoderm, and the middle layer between the ectoderm and the endoderm is the mesoderm. Okay, so the inner cell mass, that is the embryo, differentiates, okay, into an outer layer, middle layer and a inner layer. Outer layer is called as ectoderm, inner layer is called as endoderm, and the layer between the ectoderm and endoderm is the mesoderm. Okay, yes. So what are these layers? These are the layers of the inner cell mass, that is the embryo. Okay, these three layers give rise to all tissues. Okay, what for these layers are used? They form the organs okay. These form the tissues as well as the organs. So the tissues form the organs. Yes. The inner cell mass, that is the embryo, contains certain cells called as stem cells, which have the potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Okay. The inner cell mass, that is the embryo, it contains certain cells. They are the stem cells. Stem cells. Okay. You must have been knowing that stem cell therapy also has been done nowadays. Okay. When an organ or a tissue is damaged. So it has a potency to give rise to all the tissues and organs. Okay. The stem cells help in giving rise to all the tissues and organs. Remember. Major features of embryonic development at various months of pregnancy. What are the major features of embryonic development? Yeah. So, as you all know, the human pregnancy lasts for 9 months, isn't it? Yes. So, after 1 month of pregnancy, what happens? The embryo heart is formed. Okay. The embryo heart is formed. By the end of the second month, so just remember this, once go through, okay. Embryo heart is formed after 1 month. By the end of the second month of pregnancy, the fetal limbs and digits are developed. First month heart, second month fetal limbs and digits, Digits are the fingers, okay. Limbs are the hands and the legs, limbs, okay, upper limb, lower limb. Digits are the fingers. By the end of 12 weeks, by the end of 12 weeks, 12 weeks is third month. That is the first trimester, it is called as first 3 months. Trimester is 3 months. Most of the major organ systems are formed, okay, everything. Most of the organs are formed, the limbs, the external genital organs are well developed. So, the sex determination also can be done at this stage, okay. During the 5th month, okay, just remember, first month, second month and third month, okay. First month, second month and third month we have seen. Fourth month, they have not yet mentioned anything. During the 5th month, the first movement of the fetus and the appearance of the hair on the head are observed. By the end of the second trimester, that is 6th month, that is 24 weeks, the body is covered with fine hair, eyelid, okay, with fine hairs, okay. Eyelids get separated, eyelashes are formed. By the end of the 9th month of pregnancy, the fetus is fully developed and is ready for development. That is for the delivery, okay. It is fully developed and it is ready for the delivery, okay. Yes. Next is parturition and lactation, okay. Yes. There are some definitions here. Gestation period. So what is gestation period? The average duration of the human pregnancy. As we said, it is 9 months, isn't it? The gestational period will be 9 months. But for everybody, it is not 9 months. Some may deliver at the 7th month itself. Some deliver at 8 months, okay. But the average duration of the human pregnancy, which is about 9 months, is called as the gestation period. Okay. Yeah. Parturition. So what is parturition? The vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of the pregnancy causes expulsion of the fetus, that is delivery of the fetus. Parturition is nothing but delivery of the fetus, okay. Vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of the pregnancy which causes expulsion of the fetus. This process of delivery of the fetus is called as parturition, okay. Yes. So this may be asked for 1 mark, gestational period, parturition and all. Fetal ejection reflex. So this also is very, very important for 1 mark. Fetal ejection reflex. So what is this? Fetal ejection reflex. The name itself suggests that it is the signal, okay. When the child is going to get delivered, there are some signals, isn't it? Suddenly the child doesn't come out, isn't it? It may fall down and it may die. So there are certain reflex, there are certain signals, okay. When the train comes, the signal is being given, isn't it? So in the same way, there are certain signals. So these signals are called as fetal ejection reflex. So what are they? So this is the definition which is very important. You have to by heart it. The signals for parturition which originate from the fully developed fetus and the placenta which induce mild uterine contraction, okay, are called as fetal ejection reflex. Yes, so this is the definition. So there is a note here. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Parturition is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Okay, this is very important. Parturition is delivery, I said, isn't it? Delivery is induced. How it is induced? It is induced by a complex neuroendocrine mechanism. Yes. So endocrine gland with the nervous system, that is called as neuroendocrine mechanism. How does parturition occur? So we said that it is due to neuroendocrine mechanism. But this itself is not enough, isn't it? So we have to see in detail how the neuroendocrine mechanism takes place, okay, in delivery. So as we said, it is induced by the complex neuroendocrine mechanism. So the complex neuroendocrine mechanism, what it does, the fetal ejection reflex, that is the signals of the parturition. The fetal ejection reflex takes place. it triggers and release the oxytocin. Okay, the fetal ejection reflex triggers and release the oxytocin, okay, from the maternal pituitary. That is, from the mother's pituitary gland, the oxytocin is released. Okay, oxytocin is released. Oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles. Okay, oxytocin acts on the uterine muscles and causes stronger uterine contraction. Oxytocin is a hormone. Okay, it increases the contraction of the uterus. So when the uterus contraction increases, then what happens? Which in turn stimulates the further secretion of the oxytocin. Oxytocin hormone is very, very important for parturition. Okay, you have to just remember this word, oxytocin hormone. Okay, yes, and where it is released from? It is released from the maternal pituitary. This is very, very important. Okay, the one which I have underlined, just go through them. Okay, clearly. Then the stimulatory reflex between the uterine contraction and oxytocin secretes. Okay, the oxytocin secretion continues. So the oxytocin secretion will be continued. It results in the stronger and stronger contractions. Okay, so when the oxytocin secretion, the contraction increases stronger and stronger. Okay, so this leads to the expulsion of the baby out of the uterus. Okay, this leads to the expulsion of the baby out of the uterus through the birth canal, the cervical canal as well as the vaginal canal. Okay, so cervix as well as the vagina both forms the birth canal, we said, isn't it? That is called as parturition. So this is the mechanism of parturition. You have to just remember oxytocin and maternal pituitary here, and uterine contraction, that is oxytocin increases the uterine contraction. Finished. Okay, yeah. Soon after the infant is delivered, so now the baby has come out. Okay, it is called as delivery of the child. Okay, soon after the infant is delivered, the placenta is also expelled out because there is no work of placenta now, isn't it? So that also is expelled out of the uterus. Yes. Now lactation. So what is lactation? So once the baby has come out, it has to have food, isn't it? So it cannot eat like you and me. It has to have a very digestive food. Okay, easy digestive food. Okay, so lactation. What is lactation? The mammary glands of the females undergo differentiation during pregnancy and starts producing milk when towards the end of the pregnancy. Okay, this process is called as lactation. So this can also be asked for 1 mark. There's a note here. Lactation helps the mother in feeding the newborn. Okay, lactation, it helps the mother, okay, in feeding the newborn. Yes. So colostrum, this is very important for 1 mark. Okay, the milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is called as colostrum. Okay, the milk produced during the initial few days, like 4 to 5 days or something of the lactation is called as soon after delivery. The milk produced, okay, during the initial few days of lactation is called as colostrum. Colostrum contains what? It contains several antibodies. Okay, doctors advise, isn't it, to give the first few days milk to the child without fail. Why? Because it contains several antibodies which helps the baby to resist any diseases. Okay, it contains several antibodies, absolutely essential to develop resistance for the newborn babies. Okay, yeah. So the important thing, breastfeeding is recommended by doctors during the initial period of infant growth, okay, to bring up a healthy baby. Okay. Yes. So this completes your 3rd chapter. Okay. Right. Children, if you have not yet subscribed our channel, please subscribe it. Okay. Thank you, children.